Hello everyone, and today we start with our theory of justice. Now, इसमें करना क्या है बेसिकली टेक्निकली तो बस we have to do only this guy Rawls and his views regarding justice. And as such, कुछ justice के principles he is not giving. What he will be attempting to give us are the principles जिनका output will most probably be something that everyone will agree कि okay we are fine with it, and when there is something जिसमें everybody gets fine with it, we call it just system या just principle या just whatever you want to call it. It comes under the ambit of just. That being said, Rawls is not a independent guy. ये ऐसा आदमी नहीं है जो अचानक से हवा में से निकल के आया और इसने अचानक से ये सपना देखा कि भाई ये होता है जस्ट, क्योंकि ये वाली चीज़ें, ये वाली बातें ये होती आ रही है कब से, प्लेटो के टाइम से. ही ऑल्सो वांटेड टू क्रिएट अ जस्ट सोसाइटी, आइडियल जस्ट, ये सब एक ही चीज़ होती है. ठीक है. नाउ हु इज़ ही बिल्डिंग अपॉन, किसके प्रिंसिपल्स पे रॉल्स अपनी सारी बातें बना रहा है. एक बेस है जिसके ऊपर ही अपनी इमारत खड़ी करेगा. एवरीबडी इज स्टैंडिंग ऑन द शोल्डर्स ऑफ जाइंट्स. तो who will be that person, that philosopher, that guy? That would be Immanuel Kant. So the idea is that we will go into uh, the sayings या फिर जो भी कहा है कांट ने, एंड देन वी आर गोइंग टू बिल्ड अपॉन कि फिर रॉल्स ने कैसे उसको यूज़ किया उन बातों को. एंड ही गेव आउट, ही प्रोजेक्टेड अ न्यू वे टू लुक अपॉन जस्टिस, कि कैसे हम देख सकते हैं. And another thing is that after a lot of time that has been spent, बहुत समय के बाद हम देख रहे हैं कि फिर से a person is coming who is giving us a theory that has its root in contracts. What kind of contracts? Social contract. तो ये काफ़ी न्यू बात होगी. न्यू इन द सेंस दैट री इमर्जेंस ऑफ सोशल कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल थ्योरी, जो कि गायब हो गई थी काफ़ी टाइम से. किसने दी थी पिछली बार? हॉब्स वगैरह दे रहे थे सोशल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स, लेविएथन. बट जहाँ पे हॉब्स का जो मेन कंसिडरेशन था, इट वाज नॉट अबाउट क्रिएटिंग अ जस्ट सोसाइटी. ही वांटेड टू क्रिएट ए सोसाइटी जो चल रही है, लाइक रुक नहीं रही, चल रही है. वो कैसे होगा? व्हेन देर इज़ अ पर्सन, एक महाशक्तिशाली पर्सन जो रूल कर रहा है, जिसको सब ने अपने राइट्स दे दिए हैं कि भाई हम कुछ नहीं करेंगे, मारेंगे पीटेंगे नहीं, पर तू हमें पीट पाट सकता है, जो भी कर सकता है. एंड इसी के खौफ से सब लोग जो हैं बाकी अपने रूल्स फॉलो करने वाले हैं, जो भी है, जिसकी वजह से सोसाइटी जो है वो चलती रहेगी. चलती का नाम गाड़ी. ठीक है. सो दिस इज़ द आइडिया. सो स्टार्टिंग विथ कांट. So Kant has given us a critique into pure reason. Critique into pure reason, not reason, pure reason. And what he means by from pure reason is what are the supreme principles. See, बात ये रीज़न की ही कर रहा है, बात ये प्रिंसिपल देने की ही कर रहा है, बट ये जो वर्ड होते हैं ना, ये कुछ एडजेक्टिव लगा लो पीछे तो ये हैवी वेट बन जाता है. इट इज़ नॉट जस्ट प्रिंसिपल, इट इज़ नाउ सुप्रीम प्रिंसिपल. ही वॉन्ट्स टू एम्फेसाइज के व्हाट इज़ द सुप्रीम प्रिंसिपल ऑफ मोरालिटी. या फिर इसे अनदर कॉन्टेक्स्ट में यू कैन थिंक ऑफ एज व्हाट फ्रीडम इज बेसिकली. फ्रीडम एक्चुअली में क्या है, क्योंकि इसी के ऊपर तो बात चल रही है हमेशा से. कोई कह रहा है कि भाई मेरे राइट्स इंडिविजुअल के राइट जो हैं वो हमेशा ही एजर्टिव रहने चाहिए मेरे लिए ही, ऐसा नहीं कि मेरे राइट्स कोई और किसी और के लिए रुक रहे हैं। यही वाली बातें चल रही थी, इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक बातें, इंडिविजुअलिज्म, यूटिलिटेरियनिज्म। ये कौन सी बातें हैं कि भाई मैं अपना फ़ायदा करूँगा बस, मेरे को अपने से मतलब है। कोई ऐसी वाली बातें नहीं कि सोसाइटी के लिए देखो या ग्रेटर गुड वाली बातें देखो, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं था। ठीक है। सो कांट पूछ रहा है कि भाई ये यूटिलिटेरियनिज्म जो चल रहा है, जिसको कई लोग पहले भी बोल चुके हैं, किसने, बेंथम वेंथम ने दी थी ये बातें, उसके बाद फिर जे एस मिल वगैरह आ गए थे। ठीक है, पिग्स फिलोसफी वाली बातें करने लग गया था जे एस मिल। देन जे एस मिल क्या बोल रहा था, जे एस मिल ने बोला, अलग ही तरीके से डिफाइन कर रहा था फ्रीडम को इन टर्म्स ऑफ कैपेसिटी। बट देन अगेन उसके टाइम तक कैपेसिटी के कुछ ज़्यादा मतलब आए नहीं थे एज सच, वो डिफ्रेंशिएशन नहीं हो पाया था कि पॉजिटिव कैपेसिटी नेगेटिव कैपेसिटी। ठीक है। एंड वॉट टेक्निकली जे एस मिल वॉज टॉकिंग अबाउट वॉज नॉट इवन कैपेसिटी बट कैपेसिटी टू डेवलप, कैपेसिटी टू डेवलप योर सेल्फ। ठीक है। सिमिलर नोट पे ही बातें कर रहा है कांट। और कांट का जो बट बेसिस है, इट इज़ नॉट कमिंग कि वी आर ओनिंग आवर बॉडी, ये मेरी बॉडी है, आई ओन माई बॉडी, तो दिस शुड बी द रीज़न दैट मेरे राइट्स शुड बी अपहेल्ड, या फिर आई शुड बी गिवन राइट्स, या फिर जो भी मैं करना चाह रहा हूँ वट एवर और इन वट्सो एवर वे आई वॉन्ट टू फील फ्री, दैट शुड बी गिवन टू मी। ये वाली बातें नहीं कर रहा। ठीक है। ये बातें कर रहा है ऑन अनदर बेसिस दैट अ पर्सन, अब ये मैं बॉडी बना रहा हूँ बट थिंक कि ये पर्सन की बॉडी नहीं है, थिंक ऑफ इट कि इसका बस माइंड है। माइंड भी नहीं है, द रैशनल माइंड, रैशनल माइंड। एंड रैशनल माइंड क्या होता है, कुछ नहीं होता। माइंड कोई फिजिकल शिट नहीं है। ठीक है। ये भी एक कॉन्स्ट्रक्ट है हमारा। तो बेसिकली रीज़न, जो कि हमेशा से इसी पे बात चल रही है, रीज़न रीज़न पे। ठीक है। तो ये कह रहा है कि रीज़न जो है दैट इज़ द बेसिस जिसकी वजह से हर एक, अब दिखेगी तो बॉडी ही जैसा ही कोई भी हो, चाहे लेट से इफ़ ही इज़ अ बैलून सेलर, ये बैलून सेल करता है सड़कों पे। ठीक है। और ये है यहाँ पे, ये है कोई, लेट से कोई सब इंस्पेक्टर है, या फिर लेट से ये है एक ये एक ऑटिस्टिक पर्सन है, इसको कोई बीमारी है भयंकर। ठीक है। एंड ये है एक, ये हैंडीकैप्ड आदमी है, इसकी एक आंख नहीं है, एक पैर नहीं है, एक हाथ नहीं है, लेट से। ठीक है। द पॉइंट इज दिस डज नॉट एट ऑल मैटर एंड दिस कैनॉट बी ए बेसिस जिसकी वजह से इनको ट्रीटमेंट जो है वो डिफरेंट दी जाए। ट्रीटमेंट इन दी सेंस, ये कौन से काइंड ऑफ ट्रीटमेंट की बात कर रहा है, नॉट मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट, नॉट फाइनेंशियल ट्रीटमेंट, बट अ स्पेसिफिक काइंड ऑफ ट्रीटमेंट। ही इज टॉकिंग अबाउट रिस्पेक्टिंग डिग्निटी। एंड डिग्निटी क्यों पोजेस कर रहे हैं ये लोग, बिकॉज दे हैव रीज़न, दे आर कॉन्शियस बीइंग। वही बुद्धा उद्धा वाली बातें या जैनों वाली बातें कि हर चीज़ में जीवन है, तो यू कैन नॉट रिडिक्यूल देम। मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि इफ़ अ स्मॉल गाय एज इन लाइक व्हाट यू फ्रॉम अ सोसाइटी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू कंसिडर अ वर्क टू बी बीनीथ यू। लेट्स से कि कोई कचरा उठाने आ रहा है एंड ही आस्क फॉर वाटर एंड यू आर गिविंग हिम इन अनदर ग्लास, स्टील ग्लास दैट you keep. So why is that wrong according to Kant? Because you are not respecting the dignity of the rational being that the person is. अब हर कोई कोई ना कोई काम तो करेगा. Your work should not be defining your being. You have your own experiences, your own journey, your own troubles, and all of that is just unique in the whole entire universe. वो unique है. उसके जैसा किसी और ने फील नहीं किया, उसके जैसा किसी और ने इंटरप्रेट नहीं करा, राइट? सो देर इज़ नो rational जहाँ पे you think that you are above or beneath, or like, if you get my point, that you should be able to treat someone in that regard, because that is not how you should be treating a human being. And from human being you think rational being is important. ठीक है? Because you can treat a potato को यार बोरी में डाल के ज़मीन पे रख दो, ऊपर रख दो, फेंक दो, does not matter. Potato is not a rational being. Potato is not even a being, but at one point it was a being. ठीक है? When the potato was living as a root of the plant, but it is not rational. ठीक है? These are the things जिसके ऊपर आज सारे के सारे तुम्हारे ये environment या फिर animal rights movement, पीटा, ये सब कुछ जो डेवलप होगा, ये भी यूज़ करेंगे कांट्स की थ्योरी को as their justification या basis. Let's say dolphins. Now dolphins are considered to be very very intelligent. So इनको मारना, पीटना, इनको किडनैप करना, इनके फिन्स काट देना, दैट इज़ वाई देर इज सच मोबिलाइजेशन ऑफ NGOs, वर्कर्स, एक्टिविस्ट टू स्टॉप दिस नॉनसेंस. ठीक है? सो यूटिलिटेरियनिज्म की दुनिया में कांट अचानक से आके अब क्या बोल रहा है? टेक्निकली इफ़ यू आर किलिंग अ डॉल्फिन टू ईट उसका वट एवर यू ईट, कांट के लिए तो वो चीज़ वैलिड नहीं है. रीज़न बीइंग that you are disrespecting the dignity of dolphin. Dolphin is a rational being. You cannot just utilize dolphin for your own sake, क्योंकि तुम उसका क्या कर रहे हो? तुम उसकी डिग्निटी हर्ट कर रहे हो. डिग्निटी, it can feel, it can understand at least some stuff, if not all. It has a societal nature. वो कांटेक्ट में है अपनी फैमिली से, तुम नहीं कर सकते वो वाली चीज़. लेट्स से यू आर ए कैपिटलिस्ट एंड यू हैव लॉट्स ऑफ वर्कर्स. ठीक है? you keep them on salary. Now you are utilizing their bodies and their time and their skill for your own end and your own goals in return for salary. Now you have to think कि क्या ये वाली चीज़ भी इसी के एम्बिट में आ रही है, that the capitalist is not respecting the dignity of workers. So no, it is not correct. He is giving them the opportunity to contribute with whatever means they have, whatever capacity they have to earn and develop. पैसे से ये अपने आप को और डेवलप करेगा ना. But what is not valid is that capitalists should start treating them in a way that is hurting their dignity. He can't just call them, give them abuses. In sales, sales is a field where you will find that one sales guy, one senior sales guy will have under him 10-20 juniors. ठीक है? Each one selling and he is their commander. Similarly, people like him will be in numbers and there will be another on top of him. And sales is a ruthless process and they give lot of abuses. They do not respect much of their dignity. So according to Kant, that is not valid. That is not valid. Okay? If this thing is clear, so again, gluing everything back, यूटिलिटेरियन की दुनिया जिसमें कांट इज आस्किंग क्वेश्चंस दैट भाई दिस इज नॉट राइट and he is giving an alternative, and in the alternative he is saying that you can't just use people by hurting their dignity. So he is giving a new concept, a concept of dignity, a dignity that who possess? All rational beings. All rational beings. ठीक है? And what is our duty? What should be done? We should always respect the dignity of the rational being. What is the basis for this respect? Why do a rational being demand or command our respect? The only reason is that he is a rational being. That is enough. So, this in itself is an end. Your existence, or the existence of a rational being in itself, is an end. And that is why you cannot treat it as a means to your end. Yes, you can give money, hire them on salary, you give them platform, whatever you think is fine. Let's say if there is a worker, if let's say housemaid is coming to your home, that is fine. You have surplus, you are trying to save your time so that you can do more productive work, and you are utilizing some of your surplus money to delegate the tasks that you have at your home, ठीक है, cleaning and other stuff, and that is fine. And this is a person, the housemaid, who has capacity to clean. She has good physical body, fit body. That is the best she can do in financial term with her time. So that is fine, but you cannot at the same time treat her disrespectfully just because she is doing something for you. ठीक है? If that makes sense. The reason being that she is rational, she commands your dignity. Sorry, respect. Now, coming back to the technical points. So, what Kant says further is that a person takes decisions, and those decisions can be of two types: autonomous and technically there is no word that he gives, but let's just take this another word, heteronomous. This word is just so that we understand this word. Here, now understand autonomous. Can't say that the decision that you make, if those decisions are coming from an autonomous process, that is, the rational being is being autonomous. What does that mean? It means that he is choosing freely. Whatever he is choosing freely. Then that decision, we can say, is a decision taken with freedom. That is his decision. Now, as अब इस चीज़ में एक चीज़ दिख गई होगी कि he has not yet given what do we mean by freedom. So to give the definition of freedom, he has used the term autonomous and said कि freedom की definition is done. So basically, now what we have to define technically? Autonomous. So let's come to autonomous. So what is autonomous? And to understand autonomous, let's first understand heteronomous. ठीक है? Heteronomous is opposite of autonomous. Now obviously. And what is heteronomous? Let's understand this. Let's consider a child, and he was born in Nepal, and as soon as he was 1 year old, his father passed away, and his father's brother and everyone, they threw his mother and him out of their home. The mother had no family of her own, So they crossed the border, came to this UP, and from UP she started working in various household, ठीक है, rich households, and then this person, he grew up to about like 7 and 8 years of age, and then he started working in some cycle factory, and then he started becoming watchman to various factory gates, and at the age of 16 and 17 he developed certain symptoms, rashes, etc, which he obviously ignored, and at the 24-26 it it was diagnosed that he has certain disease and his skin will be melting away soon. Now understand, till now whatever decisions he and his mother has made, are they decisions made freely? I mean, who would want to choose to leave their own country to move away to another place? Who would want to ignore diseases? Who would not want to study? Who would want to leave 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year old kid at home without a father, at not even home, just whatever slum they were living, and then they are working. She is working, leaving that child alone in whatever surroundings she could manage, whatever people she could manage to take care of him, just so that she can later feed him with the money she earns. So it is a decision that she has to make between dying later versus dying today. Now, obviously, this, because there are two things A and B, it might seem like there are choices. Like in free market, there should be choices, and that is the rationale for free markets, that at least choices are there. But think of it, dying later versus dying today, are they really choices? Nobody wants to die. So, obviously, it is a choice between later and today. Delayed gratification, delayed end. She is not getting freedom to choose. If this does not make sense, let's take a story from autonomous side. This is a child. He is his parents own big businesses, 2 3 businesses they have, and they have 4 5 homes. He has rental income of, let's say, 5 lakh per month. Rental income, that is like only property is generating that. Then the father mother and their businesses generate another 5 10 lakh per month, ठीक है. Then he has gotten the best education, best universities, all the big kids like him. He is in connection with all of those. He has been brought up with them, so they will be doing big stuff when they grow up later on, and he is in contact with every one of them. Now he certainly one day gets fed up of all this and says that, okay, I am going to leave everything, all this, and just go and tour the entire world for 1 to 2 years. Why? Because I want to do it. Why don't you want to work? I do not want to work right now. Now understand, this is a decision that has been made freely. If you consider the case of Gautam Buddha, when he was known as whatever Siddhartha, ठीक है, when he was a prince, understand, he had everything, but yet he chose to leave it all. So even though that decision might not make sense to you, but understand the quality of that decision, that was a free decision. That is a free decision that Buddha made. He was being free. When you exercise that decision making, that is the only time you become free. So Kant says that about utilitarians, that I agree. He completely does not reject them. Understand this point. He does not reject utilitarianism right away. He said that I agree that there is certain merit in utilitarianism, in the sense that a person has capacity to increase his pleasure and decrease his pain. I completely agree that a person definitely has that capacity, but a person also has capacity to reason and capacity to be free. How is it possible that this person, this kid, took a decision that made him free? या फिर बुद्धा, how is it possible that he got to a place where he is taking a free decision, an autonomous decision? So Kant says that reason and freedom are together collectively the capacities that one should be focusing upon to derive upon the notion what is to be the way. It won't make sense. Let's say in another word, here the people are giving theories कि भाई let's see pleasure को increase करना है and pain को you have to decrease, and hence your decision making should be affected in this regard. So if somebody asks कि भाई demonetization करें या नहीं करें, तो you are saying let's see कितना pleasure मेरा increase हो रहा है, कितना pain decrease हो रहा है, ये वाली बातें रह जाएंगी सारी की सारी. Here you are only talking about what sense? You are talking about yourself, या फिर कितना तुम्हारा पेन या प्लेजर वाली बातें हो रही हैं. एंड वॉट बेंथम एंड ऑल सेज कि भाई दीज पेन एंड प्लेजर जो हैं, दीज आर आवर नॉट जस्ट कैपेसिटीज, नो 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 नो, they are our sovereign capacities, sovereign capacities. And change the word capacities with sovereign masters. कांट सेज कि भाई ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, ये सब बकवास है. रीजन एंड फ्रीडम आर आवर सॉवरेन मास्टर्स, क्योंकि ये डिसाइड करेंगी क्या करना है. नाउ इफ यू किल दोज, you do not acknowledge those, then obviously you are not at all free, as in the case of this kid. ठीक है. And who are these people then who are not taking the decisions freely, who are not in a position to use their reason and freedom की capacity? They, according to him, are slaves. Slaves to what? They are slaves to pain and pleasure. So थिंक क्या कर रहा है ये कांट ने डायरेक्ट यूटिलिटेरियंस को स्लेव्स बता दिया. एंड स्लेव का तो मतलब ही है कि नॉट फ्री, नॉट फ्री. सो व्हेन अ मैन एक्ट्स टू सीक प्लेजर और अवॉइड पेन, एंड बाय दिस notion he is making all his decisions, then he is not at all free. ठीक है. And the reason being that he is just acting according to natural necessity. मतलब ये तो obvious सी बात है. ये तो let's say a dog, let's not take a dog, let's say any animal you think. ठीक है. What is he trying to do? When he is hungry, he will go to hunt or look for food, whatever, wherever, whatever it is. ठीक है. They are just trying to increase pleasure and decrease pain. They are not free. Are they free? No, they are not free. Let's say some person says that if I want to drink, and I want to drink all day, every day, and his parents are saying, do not, it's not good. But he says that no, leave me alone, I want to be free. Now understand what is happening. Is he really free? No, he is just a slave. Slave to what? Slave to the natural necessity that he has acquired, drinking. Let's say he wants to drink and yet he does not. Only in that sense he will be free. That I want to, but I will let's not. ठीक है? So you can check upon addictions as well, addictions and other things. Kant has given a lot of basis for a lot of things. So you have to give that a construct. Now, so when I say again autonomously, autonomously then gives us a whole concept that a person can either be acting freely, or he might be just feeding, or let's say seeking his natural necessity. Let's say if you just want to increase your pleasure or decrease your pain, that is just natural tendency. Natural tendency. Now natural tendency ko can we call the normal nature? Let's not call it human nature, but let's say the observed human nature. Mm, when there are advertisement, and this is an example I heard somewhere, that this cold drink ads, soft drink ads, let's say Sprite. So obviously no rational being would be choosing Sprite or Limca over water, would he? No. Everybody knows that why water should be utilized to feed your thirst. As simple as that. This is natural. Hence, to promote this, the advertisements, those people, those analysts, what they will make you think, they will say with an ad that you have to obey your thirst. Now understand this word obey, because the natural necessities, you are a slave to them. You are a slave to those natural necessities. And when something you are following is seeming very, very natural, and from natural, understand what does it mean? Natural does not mean that that is the way. The natural say means it is just physical, purely physical, purely physical. An electron will revolve around a nucleus like this. This is natural. But think if electron says that okay, I am going, I am leaving this atom, I won't revolve around this, I will revolve around this, then this electron is acting freely. Suddenly it is acting freely. It is not a slave to the natural laws. So the advertisement are also giving you, showing you very ironically that obey your thirst, and then it comes to you that okay, I have to obey my thirst. लिमका only बुझाए प्यास, बाकी सब बकवास. ठीक है. So freedom, according to Kant, is opposite of necessity. And to act freely, if you want to act freely, you have to act how? You have to act autonomously. And to act autonomously, what do you have to do? To act freely, you have to act autonomously, and to act autonomously, you have to follow a law that you give yourself. Lord Buddha, what was natural for him? The natural course for him was to stay as ignorant as he can, because he has been kept that way. He did not know anything about disease, poverty, hunger. He was a happy, blameless vessel's lot. He was like that, and it was the natural course for him. A natural course in the sense that it was constructed in such a way that he stay like that. But yet he chose to no more get rid of that ignorance, come at a point in his life when he had to choose, and he chose not what was natural but the hard yet fulfilling. Fulfilling what? Fulfilling him. He became Buddha right after that decision. The journey of Buddha starts after he leaves the home, right? So if it makes sense, he acted freely because he acted autonomously. And how did he act autonomously? He acted upon a law that he gave himself, not what was so natural for him. ठीक है. Now, if that is making sense, let's talk about morality. When we are acting freely, or let's say when a person has to act freely, act is becoming important here. So let's break this. Act freely. How does one act? There must be a cause and an effect. So when you act, you must be wanting to move toward an effect that you want or desire. If that makes sense. Now let's try to understand this effect first, because if we become clear of what is the effect that we actually seek, then it would become easier to think about what is the prerequisite for that, the acting part. So what effect do we want? What desire we want? Let's say according to utilitarians, your effect should be to increase pleasure and decrease pain. So that can easily happen. There are drugs, they increase pleasure 100 times, they decreases pain 100 times. So in that sense, nobody would do anything. if this is enough, this is available enough, right? Or let's say you create a structure somehow, let's say consumerism, where you get pleasure from consuming more. New iPhone, new dress, more Insta photos, more FB photos, more consuming, more consuming, more consuming. So you know that in this sense, what is the act here? The act here should be, you can just directly break it, that you need to be in a, need to be having the capacity to purchase those stuff. And the more capacity to purchase, the more happy you would feel, or more pleasure you would feel. That is how you are acting. But understand, if this is all a false narrative, then all of your acts goes to waste, and hence the life. If that makes sense. Was this a free life? No, it was not a free life. This was a life of slavery. But how was all this constructed? This was constructed by few people, humans. How and why? Let's not go into how, because that would be the process of the whole business. ठीक है? Let's try to understand the motive, why generation of profit for them, so that they can pursue their goals, whatever they want. But they are doing all this utilizing these people as means. When we say consumerism, in consumerism, this fat auntie, a fat auntie who was gotten married at 23 kids by 23, ठीक है, in her house. Since then, till now, she being 55, not knowing more, not seen enough world. This fat auntie becomes target, not target, a potential customer. A potential customer, or let's say these are the heavy words, these are the words that disguise the real thing that they are to them. That is means. They are sitting at home, but through technology they are means to their ends, the ends of profit. Is she free when she is choosing more, let's say, whatever they are producing and trying to make her purchase? No, she is not free. And is this person or these person respecting her dignity? No, they are not. They are not treating, when you do not treat a person's dignity, you are not treating them as human or rational being. So this fat auntie is nothing but an instrument. And why I am emphasizing fat? Understand, she is fat not because she wants to be fat. She is fat because she is a slave. Slave to her pleasures, or whatever thing you want to call it. Fat also means that you are not respecting the dignity of your body, yourself. That is why you are fat, right? So you can be an alcoholic, that is not respecting yourself. your dignity. Same, you can be fat also, not respecting your body, your dignity. Although there are many new phenomena coming up these days, but that is just marketing tactics, if that makes sense. So we were talking about what, I think it all got jumbled up. So we are talking about the act, because act is before the effect, and effect is what we have to understand. Effect is what? The end. And act is what? It is the means. Technically you are just your mind. So if you do something with your body, that also, if you are let's say torturing your liver so that you can go in a state where you feel happy, then you are using your body, yourself, as a means to an end. That is also not respecting your own dignity. Same with others. In this sense, you understand that we can check suicide also. We can give a good justification for why suicide is wrong, because in suicide you are restricting the choices that you can make tomorrow. You are taking the easy way out. Easy way out for today, for you. But what is the price that you are paying? You are using yourself as a means to a desired end. You are not respecting the dignity of you. Same with, let's say, murder. When you do murder, you kill a person with, let's say, 1 crore rupees. You kill him, take his money. What did you do? You just use this person as a means to your desired end. Here the end was to feel like happy, according to you, because you feel that you could feel happy later on. Technically after you are dead you can't feel anything, because there is no concept of you after you are dead. But you are yet paying the price to use yourself as the means to that end. That end that does not exist. So this is the technically stupid. This still makes sense. ठीक है. This still would make sense. This does not make sense. So the act will determine what? The moral worth. The act will determine the moral worth. Let's say if you give 4 years for preparation, 1 2 3 attempts, and then finally you are let's say IFS officer, then the hard work that you put in, the act, and this is the end, if it makes sense. Is this worthy enough? Is this worthy enough? Is this worthy enough? If you understand the sync that I'm trying to establish here. After paying this price, if you get this end, you have to think what is the moral worth you are paying. And how do you do that? By checking the motive or the quality of the intention. The quality of intention. If you put in rigor, efforts, and labor, and you have come up to here, but let's say the motive behind this is just to get a new, let's say, girlfriend, or let's say to do corruption at higher level and earn fast, fast earning. If that is the motive or your quality of intention, then what is the moral worth? None. And if there is no moral worth, you understand this And this goal, although achieved, is nothing technically. Why? Because you are yet a slave, not free. So the agenda is to get free. But if you are pursuing something that is due to lack of lack of, or let's say without the sake of moral law, not conforming to the moral law, then it is as same as that you are a dog and there is a, let's say, a food, a bread, a roti in front of you, and just you just eat it. It is as simple as that, as similar as that. Was this a autonomous act? No, this was a heteronomous act. Whenever we act in some way to feed our self, let's say our desires or our pleasures, that is our inclination, whatever we are inclined to do, not what we are supposed to do. There is something called inclination, and then there is something called what we are supposed to do. Supposed to do comes similar to the concept of your duty. At 7 a.m., at 7 a.m., you wake up, you get fresh, take a shower. By 7:30, you leave for office. That is your duty. You can't say that today I am feeling sleepy, I won't be going. Tomorrow I am feeling sleepy, I won't be going. Then you are not reliable. You are just feeding your pleasures, your inclinations. You might be feeling that you are free, but are you really free? How do you check that? What is the moral worth of your act? What is your act? That I am forsaking my duty and today I won't be going, and I will just sleep till 10, and then I will drink till 2, and then I will sleep again till 6. Let's say you are a DM. Can a DM do this? ठीक है, it won't make sense. Everything will fall apart, at least in that district, for that day. Even if not fall apart, it the order won't be there, or delayed. So is it good, bad? That is not the question here. The question was to see the moral worth of this act. Okay. And why we have to check the moral worth of the act that we pursue, that we use to pursue the ends, so that we can figure out if we are free or not. If that makes sense, then let's come to Rawls' theory of justice. Although this Kant stuff is not very much required in that detail, but it makes sense if there is certain aspects very much clear, because these are the contemporaries of Rawls. Like Rawls built upon the principles laid before him by Kant. So Kant will be the giant on whose shoulders Rawls will establish his principles. So what Rawls attempt to develop? What Rawls attempt to develop here, and try to understand what we are going into now. We are seeing now the third Enlightenment tradition. The third Enlightenment tradition. We have seen all individualism, utilitarianism. They both come under the same ambit. Then the Marxism. Now we will see the third major Enlightenment tradition, that is of political liberalism. just like Aristotle and Plato, Rawls is as significant as them. Why? Because let's say कि till Rawls we say that everything, even till Marx, everything or every political philosopher, whatever they were preaching, reading, giving, teaching, if it makes sense, the theories and the principles, justifications, they were all revolving around the questions, or let's say the answers given by Aristotle and Plato. We used to say that everything of contemporary political philosophers are footnotes to Aristotle and Plato. But after Rawls, we see that everything after Rawls is just footnotes to Rawls. We see that after World War, there was a decline of all that political philosophy, political theory. Why? Because the answers that they were giving were not, there was no question to it. Let's say the questions of the times after World War, there was no good enough justification in the political theory field. So there was a whole revolution in the sense that an attempt was made to create political science, a real science. And when I say real science, it becomes all procedural. That is science, Einstein, नील बोर्स, all were from those time. तो सबको लगा कि भाई साइंस तो असली चीज़ होती है, ठीक है. Instrument, measurement, only these kind of activities were focused upon. Hence, it all was taken over by behavioralist. That is, collect data, figure out some graph, chart, pattern, what is happening, and then you start saying stuff. So till 50s and 60s, that was the trend, and comes Rawls, and Rawls, then the third major Enlightenment tradition, he ignited what? The re-emergence of political philosophy. And there is a one very fascinating element about Rawls is that after a whole lot of time, there comes a philosopher from the tradition of social contract. Social contract. So if you think about it, how Einstein gave one theory and Maxwell gave some kind of theory, Newton gave some kind of theory regarding the physical universe, the physics, and Einstein's last efforts were to like combine all of those into one single grand unified theory. That was his ultimate objective. Maxwell's equations and classical mechanics, quantum mechanics. He wanted to like combine all of those. He failed. Similarly, there was a tradition of social contracts. And then there is a whole another ethical development capacity, philosophical ambit. See, social contract, you when you try to think, it is a practical approach that people must have come together and then they would sign a contract. That is a legalistic approach is this. And then there is a certain thing that capacity should be developed. So capacity comes prior to whatever freedom. These are all what? Moral sense, ethical sense. Kant comes into under which category? This category, ethical sense, moral sense. Correct? Mill comes under which category? This category. Because he is talking about things that we can't see. We only have to use reason to know that they exist. Capacity, freedom. Similarly, when we check Hobbes, understand where will Hobbes come. Hobbes will come under this category. He is trying to show you that there is a physical way where these things get implemented or must have been. He does not hold proof, but yet he gives you a solution, hypothetical solution, but it works. The Leviathan or the social contract. Although this was the time, Hobbes, this was the time when technically Islamic laws or the Islamic traditions were translated into the Oxford University. There was a whole another chair that was established that time. So first time in the world, the Islamic law and Islamic legal tradition was available to people in English, and Hobbes used those. Well, not sure if he used or not, but there is a certain similarities as to how the Khalifa and the prophetic laws, like how one person, the supreme commander, and then all others just direct following, and he has the supreme sovereignty to punish anyone. So these are the elements of Hobbes, and it works. It works. But they have a limitation in the sense that they have to keep this whole ethical part separate. So now what Rawls will try to do is merge the both back together. Back together in the sense that when morality and ethics were separated from politics during the times of Machiavelli, it made sense because the times were like that. There was too much in order. You can't have order when there are too many head of power, or let's say sources of power. But that was that time. You could not manage it because the communication networks were not real, not present at that time. Okay? Today you can just have a diplomatic call to, let's say, President of United States right now, and at the same time with everyone else in the sense, from Pakistan leader can also have the talk, direct hotline. You can also have a direct hotline. China at the same time has a direct hotline. This were not possible back then. So there were situations in those times which made all this thing sensible to those time. Okay? Anyway, so you try to understand what Rawls will be trying to do. He will be trying to merge this back. He will be trying to give us an example, or let's say an approach, or let's say how Einstein tried to show us the relativity, theory of relativity, by giving us an example that, let's suppose there are his twin paradox, that there are two child who are of same age, 6 years age and 6 year age, and let's suppose that one of those kid sits in a rocket, and this rocket moves with the speed of light, whatever it is, 3 lakh kilometer per second. Okay, now if he keeps moving, sitting in this rocket with this speed for 10 years, so when he reaches back to earth, his age will still be 6. Meanwhile, his brother's age would be 16. For him, time would not, let's say, move at the same pace as him on earth. So that was his. Yeah, can you check this thing? No. So what do you call this? This was a thought experiment. You call these activities thought experiments. Similarly, Rawls will be giving us, now understand, these are the times Einstein was using thought experiments, because physical capacity of humans to experiment really is not always as advanced as the dynamics of laws that you have figured out. Like today only you are trying to do those Lego experiments, but it is not that the theories are also made today. It is just that human species is evolving to that level in experimental physics at a different pace. जो फिजिक फिजिकल वर्ल्ड है वो स्लो होती है एंड थ्योरीज जल्दी आ जाएंगी. सो थ्योरीज को इफ़ यू हैव टू गिव एन एक्सपेरिमेंट देन आइंस्टाइन chose the way of thought experiment. And see, 50s की 60s की बात हो रही है, so this is the trend that time, so he will also be giving us a thought experiment, a wonderful thought experiment, and he will want us to be in that thought experiment and answer the questions. He won't be giving us any output himself. He will just give us he will be just giving us the details of situation that he wants us to put in, and then we have to give the answer to the question that he will ask later on. And every time he does that, the answer will come out to be same. Okay, and that will be the basis that he will give for his distributive outcome principles. So I guess I'll continue this in next. Okay, so okay, bye bye.